20 oh shit moments from cops, according to Reddit. Number 20. My mate had an oh shit moment on his first week of solo traffic patrols. Pulled a drunk guy over, and the trunk literally had two people just chilling in it asleep. Well, there you go. The responses here read, whose business is it where I nap? Airbnb, Road B&B. Number 19. Back when I was an MP, I was assigned to write up abandoned vehicles on an area on post, and found a nasty one with busted out windows, no plates, and while checking it out, noticed that a couple of wires were running from the front to the back. I lifted something in the back and... oh my god. It bomb. A lot of phone calls above my head determined that it was an unlabeled training tool that had been left just laying out in public by some units on post. Ooh. The next day it had training spray painted on the side to keep anyone only from having the same oh shit moment. Dat bomb, boy. Okay. Dat bomb. Okay. Number 18. My older brother is a cop. Okay. He got a call about a suicidal teenager being behind a school with a knife. He rolled up to the spot, and when the kid noticed him, he immediately started hacking at his own neck with a knife. My brother sprints over to him and tases him. He saved the kid's knife. It's all on body cam. It's fucking wild. Yeah, damn. Somebody said, that makes me think of one of my mom's coworkers who is a tree trimmer. This better be good. He was out with some other guys in his crew when they stopped for lunch. He walks away to take a smoke, and then the other guys hear a chainsaw and then him screaming. He tried to kill himself by cutting his neck with it. He survived, but he had to be fired due to safety reasons. Don't know the full details, but I'm pretty sure he was sent to a mental health facility.
I can only hope.
Why don't y'all take some pills?
What?
We can't talk about it. But my line of reasoning is, if you want to kill yourself, guys, why go for the most painful thing? This isn't me, instructing anybody. Do not take your own life. But in my mind, I feel the reasonable way to go about it is like a quick and painless type thing. A chainsaw? What? A chainsaw? Oh my god. It's like wanting to go drown yourself. Is that a good idea? You think that's gonna go well? You're gonna be alive through that. What the hell? Number 17, boy. Witness to autopsies. Watching the ME pull the testicles out from the inside. Oh god. Or the needle in the eyeball to get samples of eyeball fluid. I gotta change my entire thing if I expect to see any money. That's the bottom line. I really gotta pivot. Gotta be a whole different thing that I do, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. Look, or the needle in the eyeball to get samples of the eyeball fluid, or the sights, sounds, and smells of the bone saw cutting through the skull. And the following suction sounds of the top of the skull being pulled out. Or check on a welfare call to check on a 50-year-old lady who hasn't been seen for a few days. Go to her apartment, look through a couple windows, after no response at the door. Last window I checked, I had to try and get my bearings while looking through the half-open blinds. I realized she was dead, in bed, eyes open. I have seen plenty of dead bodies prior to this call, but that one gave me the heebie-jeebies. Give it a heebie-jeebies. Or, Another dead body call, died in his sleep, and I had been in the bedroom for a couple of hours making notifications and requesting for remains removal. A belt slid off the treadmill and hit the treadmill belt pretty loudly. There was no reason for the belt to fall off that treadmill. So what, y'all think it was like some kind of spooky ghost or something? A belt slid off the treadmill and hit the treadmill real loud. Okay. Now the cops get PTSD too, right? Patting down a male arrestee for a female officer. My dude was passed out at a green light. He was already cuffed, and right as I got down to his right ankle, I heard it. It sounded like a garbage disposal choking on pudding. Dude shit himself right there. That's not funny. I didn't say anything as he sat down in the back seat. The female officer went to the opposite side of the back seat to assist in buckling him in, and she gagged. "Oh God, what's that smell?" she said. Me. "She just shit himself. Ooh, that smell." Why the hell did Linda just say something ummy nummy yummy? She talking about this entry? Look, y'all gonna have to start hitting my Streamlabs. Y'all gonna start acting like poop is delicious or something. All right, that is not cool. That is not cute. Ah, God, my eyes are burning just thinking about it. It's not holy. Oh, it's not holy. I was in a community policing unit. Right as me and about 25 other community policing officers got out of a meeting, a report of a homicide came out just blocks from our station. Dispatch advised that we would be looking for a red truck. A fellow officer called out that he had a red truck nearby. I was the first there, and he was pulling the driver out at gunpoint. As we approached him and he got cuffed, I turned and saw the biggest traffic jam of cop cars I had ever seen in my life. Later that day, I watched a traffic cam recording of the traffic stop. I lost count at 53 cars coming to back us up. More of a bing bong than a hribbledy gribbledy. Stupid. It's all dumb. That last one was literally about how many cop cars came to the red truck incident. Okay.
Stripes is asking if you still need an avatar.
Yeah, an avatar. Stripes, don't you have things to worry about as it pertains to you being out of a place to stay by the end of the month? Okay. I don't need anything other than a fat amount of money hitting my PayPal so I can keep doing what I'm doing without the stress of real life knocking at my door and seizing my crap. So Stripes, take care of yourself, because I hate to keep having to remind you. Number 16. I was a rookie cop in a small town. I was driving to a check-on. That's what it says. I was driving to a check on a report. Maybe he's Italian. That's not cool, Kyle. Never mind. I can't joke like that, especially if I mean to put this on YouTube. And here's the thing. With YouTube, man, I'm going to have to just age restrict everything in the hopes that maybe potty words won't get my channel, terminated any faster. But it is totally an inevitability. I wish I were a makeup channel. Well, I was driving to a check on a report of a large group of kids causing a disturbance at a school parking lot late at night. Find a better place to hang out, you little bastards. I realized I had not tested my PA speaker, which I planned on using to disperse the crowd. On my way to the call, slowly rolling down a residential street at 2 a.m. with my windows down, I decide to tap my PA mic a couple of times to check it. The first 2 taps, I can't tell if it's working. I slow down and I tap the mic several more times. Definitely hear the loudspeaker that time. At that moment, I hear, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I look at my passenger window and I see this old dude sitting on his porch in his underwear looking pissed. Our eyes lock eyes. And I realized I had no decent excuse for clicking my loudspeaker in a quiet neighborhood in the middle of the night. So I didn't say anything back to him and I just floored it up the road. Definitely an oh shit moment at the time. The awkward on this encounter was through the roof. Intriguing. The awkward. Intriguing. So we continue up this list. We arrive at number 15. Dad is a newly retired cop. He had 30 years on the force, and he has a couple of gems that he has told me. The last one is pretty sad, so if you have any type of suicidal tendencies, consider it a trigger warning. You out here trigger warning things? You cuck. Number 1. While working as a patrolman, he had a couple of encounters with people on PCP. The first was a lady who cut her I don't want to touch that.
PCP?
No, boy, calm down. I don't want to touch that, but I do have blind listeners for as long as this channel exists. So listen, I am just reading an entry that is on the internet in the interest of preserving this website for the years to come. But hey, man, they're going to shut me down. Whatever. While working as a patrolman, we had an encounter with people high on PCP. The first was a lady who cut her entire anus out and ripped the inside part out. She woke up the next day with no recollection of what had happened. She will have to be on a colostomy bag for the rest of her life. Number 2. Guy on PCP was butt naked in the middle of a road, sweating profusely. For those who don't know, PCP raises your body temperature, so people get naked because they are hot. The guy used a broken glass bottle to cut his genitalia off, balls and all. He ended up bleeding out before EMS arrived. Don't do PCP. You cut your balls, you cut your cock and balls off and then bled to death. That's not funny.
Don't do bad stuff, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Don't do it.
Number 3. Thanksgiving morning, Dad worked a night shift and was home by 6 a.m. Okay. I came to the kitchen to help cook for Thanksgiving, and seeing him staring off into space, something was clearly bothering him. It turns out that there was a bad car accident and the car caught fire, and the woman inside was stuck because her seatbelt had melted to her. And Dia says seatbelts save lives. On that ass.
Stop it.
On that ass. The dad went to pull her out and described how her skin had just crisped over. So when he pulled on her to free her, the skin kind of peeled off. They eventually got her out, but she had suffered severe burns and was permanently disfigured. Dad ends up getting burned up pretty good on his arms. She ended up surviving, but took her life 6 months later. That one my dad couldn't really ever shake. I think he blames himself for not getting her out sooner. That kind of heartache comes with the job, I suppose. Nah, man, the typical kind of heartache with a lot of cops is just, you start a cop not hating people, and then, by the end of it, you hate everybody. All races, all genders, Comes with the territory of being a cop. You just get to see the worst, the ugliest of people. People don't call cops when things are going well, They call them when things are going wrong. So, holy hell. It's sad, it's a shame, it's messed up, but cops, they end up developing this outlook that, man, people are disgusting. We already think people are disgusting, but even we need to shut our minds off to how disgusting and cruel people can be just to get through our everyday. We got to function somehow. Oh no, I'm seeing Miami-Dade County. So number 14, not myself personally, but my father. I've heard this story hundreds of times over the years, and this seems like the perfect time to share it. My father was a Miami-Dade County sheriff in the 80s. One of the first rookies pulled from the academy straight to Miami. All the time he tells how the officers are all control freaks. His oh shit moment was when he lost control. On his way home from a shift one day, he overheard a call on the radio about a convenience store robbery right near where he was. He radioed in and said that he'd check it out, as he was still in uniform. He still had shirt and pants and badge, but gun and belt had been removed. Uh-oh. As he searched the streets, he spotted a vehicle matching the description and proceeded to call it in and throw on his lights to pull them over. As he pulled them over, 2 kids got out and ran. The driver stayed behind. With no gun belt on, my father proceeded out of his cruiser and holstered his weapon in his waistband. Nice. He then took the driver out of the car and moved them to the hood of his. Oh, the car. Sorry. I'm thinking of another hood. Motherfucker. I'm kidding. As he searched the driver over his hood, he said that he felt the moment happen. The driver started to swing his arm around and proceeded to elbow the father in the face. He lost all control. They wrestled to the ground, where eventually my father's weapon was knocked loose. The driver proceeded to pick up the weapon and shoot my father point blank in the lung with his own weapon. Wow, my dude. Wow. Well, that's your own fault for not properly stowing your weapon, you know? And if well, I'm not going to go there. Can't go there. Not while I'm recording. The driver escaped, but only for a brief period of time, and my father was blessed to have one of the top GSW doctors/surgeons in the country doing a seminar about 20 minutes away on the same day. He lives to tell the tale today, and I'm pretty sure that piece of shit who shot him just got released last year.
He almost killed a guy. Ooh.
You know I'm not alone, and if I'm not alone, give me $10, okay? I know I'm not alone when I read he lost control, and I thought this dude just, the cop just killed a man or something. Like, he just went into the hood and they were like, "What you gonna do, you old man?" And he was just like, and he went Hulk or something. That's what I thought he meant when he lost control. Not like he lost control of a situation and then a guy that he was trying to arrest shot him. Like, holy hell, that went in exactly the opposite direction than I thought it would go.
What a twist.
What a twist, yeah. This entry by Shyamalan. So, oh my God. Number 13. My cousin was an EMT in Buffalo when he was backing up a SWAT insertion. I guess that's what they call it when the SWAT rolls out on somebody, huh? As he tells it, the oh shit moment was when he realized the gunfire he was hearing wasn't from the police. Oh my God, Ultra, thank you so much. He did it. He fucking did it. Wow. Which one of you will Streamlabs me now? Did you see Jacob's health? That's so sad. I doubt it. I bet he stays stream boss through the night, and then you guys allow some subscriber to just come and steal it from him. And we're gonna get into the stream tomorrow, and it's gonna be all like, Gerald Taffy is the stream boss, and we're gonna be like, who the fuck is that? It's just some guy who subscribed. Thank you, Kevin. You just earned a 5,000 bits badge, boy. My God. Wait a minute. Rhea is here. Rhea says, I find it upsetting that 15 isn't read properly anymore. What does she mean? Oh, she implies that I should be saying it like that one guy that she probably loves. Rhea is probably balls deep in all of the kind of normie YouTubers that would never have their channel threatened because they follow the rules, bruh. Rules. Okay. What? Number 12. As a rookie, I was responding to an alarm at a restaurant that was supposed to be haunted by a women. What am I reading? The first officer that arrived was an older officer that didn't do much and didn't ever get excited on the radio. What? What am I reading?
This is a cursed entry.
This entry. As soon as he arrived, he asked for a second unit in a high-pitched I'm going to need a second unit. As I pulled in, he had his shotgun out and was leaned up over his hood. My first thought was, oh shit, someone is breaking in. When I ran up to him and asked what up. What? All he said was as he pulled up and his lights hit the building, a woman jumped off the roof and disappeared. So spooky. He was clearly shook. Which 14-year-old wrote this entry? Me and another officer checked the building and found no evidence that someone had been there. It made an impression on me, and I never went back to the restaurant at night without another officer. Oh my God. Haunted by a woman. This place is haunted. Ooh.
Feminists are trying to get us from
Fucking kidding me? What does it mean? It's haunted by a woman. He saw a woman jump off the roof. Oh, how many women? One woman. Wow. Number 11. Doesn't count if it was my dad. Okay, bro. Mom took me and my siblings to the doctor one day. Turned off her cell phone as per the doctor's office policy back then. What? Fast forward a few hours and we pull up to our house and there's a cop car waiting for us in the driveway. It's not my dad's. Anyone with family and law enforcement knows having a cop at your door that isn't your loved one is something you never want to experience. Long story short, my dad's flashbang malfunctioned and detonated in his pocket during a call out. He was SWAT. Definitely an oh shit moment for him and everyone in the back of that van. He very nearly bled out. And they couldn't get a hold of my mom. She swears the whole department was in that waiting room when we got there, and my dad lived to tell the tale. Good for you. Flash out! Hey, did you throw it? What? I'm kidding. They run the van. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. They're stealing the van. That's fucked up. They're stealing the van. So it seems that number 10 is deleted. 10 being the number of dollars that I love, that I need, that I crave. That's a spicy meatball. I feel like I have enough points at Pizza Hut to get a free pizza, but I still have to order something else. That's how they get you. That's how they freaking get you. There's a lot of entries here. I'm just gonna scroll down. Here's one. It says, I went to a domestic violence call and spoke to the person reporting. She stated that she had an active restraining order against her boyfriend. She stated that he was trying to break in, conducted a perimeter search around the apartment building, checked the bed of the trucks, under the cars, dumpsters. This guy was just gone. My partner and I were walking back to her apartment when I find an access panel on the side of the building. I open it and the guy is crouching in there with a Rambo knife. As you can imagine, I didn't think he would be in there when I saw that big ass knife. I said, oh shit. Gave him orders to drop it and took him into custody without incident. Well, my bing bong. So we travel up to number 9. When I was being trained on what to do if someone gets acid thrown in their face, being told what the procedure is if I get pricked with a junkie's needle and what can happen to me. My 2 biggest fears on the job. Can you imagine when somebody just got acid on deck? That shit is horrifying. You know, that's the type of thing you don't worry about until you worry about it, and then you go, Jesus Christ, what's the real? What was the real? The only defense against having acid thrown on you is to somehow know that acid may be thrown on you and then avoid everything that you would have done that day. You know what I mean? So the solution seems to be from the future. Apparently. Yeah, what?
That sucks.
And then of course getting AIDS. God damn.
At least they tell them what they should do.
Thank God that there's no chemical warfare. That's all I have to say, man.
You say that as if it were true.
I say that meaning people don't bust that shit on a scale that's horrifying. Because let me tell you something, okay? Yeah, we get a lot of people just going straight crazy, deciding they gonna go to a bank one day and just shoot everybody for no reason and stuff like that. But you don't see people deciding, you know what, I have this disease, or worse, finding somebody with that's positive and then going, hey, I need this to engineer something. And it's like, no, the world doesn't need that. Thank you, world, for not being that intense. Number 8. Okay. Pocket acid. A suicidal girl was dropped off at the hospital. Myself and my colleague were escorting another prisoner from custody. The girl came to speak to our prisoner. They'd never before, but they were just making idle hospital waiting room chit-chat. The girl vanishes, not bothered. We don't know why she's there. Who she is, we just assume that she'd gone somewhere else. After a while, our prisoner says, that girl has been in the toilet a long time. Perhaps she's having a big poo. We laugh and then realize that it had been a while. So I start banging on the door, no answer. Door's locked. I unscrew the lock and she sat there, wheezing and not responsive. And my colleague goes for help and the nurse comes and unzips her jacket and she's made a ligature from a sock and she's blue and not breathing. You mean like she tried to choke herself with a sock? I managed to cut it off and she's taken through to get checked. She's breathing again. My partner goes with her and I'm stood by the door with my prisoner getting air. The whole thing is stressful. This happened in the middle of a busy A&E and people are just looking at me. Next thing I know, a healthcare assistant is running out to me because the girl is now becoming violent and my partner needs help. I can't leave my prisoner and I can't leave my partner to get beat up. What is the only way that I can do both? I'm kidding, it's a riddle. I chose to go for my partner. Okay. Did you let the prisoner go? That'd be pretty cool of you, man. It'd be pretty cool. This girl is smashing her head in a wall, kicking, hitting, and trying to bite. It took 3 of us to get her calm. I barely managed to get the assistant's shout out before going in. Luckily, the prisoner sat patiently in the waiting room whilst we dealt with that. They weren't cuffed, they could have run, and there was nothing that we could do to stop it. Did you have their information though? On top of all the stress that day caused, I didn't really have the oh shit moment until I was in the car on the way home and I realized the girl nearly died 5 feet away from me. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for the prisoner paying attention to where this new friend went. Ain't nothing like a woman to get everybody's attention. If it was a man, that dude would have died in there and been dead for like 50 hours before somebody was like, did I talk to somebody earlier today? No, I must have made that up. You know what I mean? Hilarious, because it's true. All right, so the bottom line here is, y'all would run. If it was you, the prisoner. Look, if it was you, give me $10. That's all I'm saying. Okay. The bottom line with this story, though, is I want everybody to be aware that, hey, man, some people may want to take their life, and it is not something that you can stop because even if you were their parent, you wouldn't be able to watch them 100% of the time. And this is a choice that they have made, and you can try to influence, but hey, that's not something you should beat yourself up about, you know? We can try all we can to influence people's decisions and get them to not do or to do things that, you know, they may or may not want to do, but ultimately the choice is theirs. So I don't know why this cop would have been beating himself up about it, you know. This girl wanted to take her own life, man. Hey, good job on him for stopping her, though. Even though it was the prisoner of all people, the prisoner is the hero of this story. Okay, he's the savior. Ugh. Number 7. I'm not a cop, but my younger brother is. Oh, and on his first night out on field training, the first night he's not riding with an instructor. Him and his equally new partner were heading back to the station at the end of the night at around 2 a.m. He's driving down a major street, and there are 2 SUVs hauling ass in the other direction. Look, I'm going to need the stream to stop talking about acid, all right? My God, it's bad enough. It is bad enough. It is bad enough My reputation on the site.
They ain't talking about the
Oh my god. Oh my god. Look, him and his equally new partner were headed back to the station at the end of the night at around 2 a.m. He's driving down a major street and there are two SUVs hauling ass in the other direction. All of a sudden, someone leans out of the rear window of the second vehicle and starts firing rounds from the vehicle at his car heading in the opposite direction. What is this, a movie? Naturally, they flip around and give chase and call it out on the radio. He said that it was either the fact that his partner was screaming in his radio, his head off into the radio, or the fact that it was two rookies getting shot at, but the entire city's police force came down on them in 2 minutes. They ended up catching both vehicles, and it turns out it was some sort of dispute at a bar between the occupants of the SUVs. The Vehicle 2 was chasing Vehicle 1, saw the cops coming the other way, and decided to take it up a couple notches. Okay. Number 6. This happened August of last year. It was about 1 to 2 in the morning when a 911 hang-up call came in where all that was heard was screaming and swearing. I was the closest unit, riding alone as my partner had been voluntold. Bitch, you heard of volunteering. But have you ever been voluntold?
It's when people tell you to volunteer.
I voluntold them you'd be there, so you doing it. For another assignment that set of days. So when I got into the area, I was initially waiting for backup. However, I was walking up to the house. I heard several voices screaming, rushing up to the house, and the first thing that I noticed was blood everywhere. The floor, the walls, the door, the floor again, all covered to shoulder height. A distraught woman screamed and pointed me towards the living room. Once I get into the living room, I see a male and a female on a couch, both covered in blood. The male had a massive laceration on his right forearm, and the female had taken a belt and snake wrapped it around his arm to try to stop the bleeding. Seeing how the belt was applied, I knew it wasn't doing anything to stop the blood flow. So I pull out my tourniquet, and as I prepped it, said to the guy, "This is gonna hurt like hell, but it'll stop the bleeding." I applied the tourniquet just above the top of his bicep and knew that it was on properly when he told me that his hand was starting to go numb. It was at that point that I noticed the second deep gash on his tricep that went down to the bone. What? It took EMS about 15 minutes to get to the house, and the paramedic made it abundantly clear that I had not applied the tourniquet. No, that had I not applied the tourniquet, the male would have bled out long before they were able to get there. In the end, it turns out the guy had come home drunk, forgot his keys, climbed up to the second-story window, and punched his way into the house. With nearly deadly results. Y'all motherfuckers do really not need to be fucking with glass. Glass is scary. Please do not think you could just bust through some glass like it's a movie, dude.
Unless
you know?
you're the guy from that clinic.
No, listen, if it needs to be done, your body does not need to come in contact with the glass. Find a rock, find a weapon, find a blunt instrument. Find something that is solid enough that you can throw it through the window and then do your best to clear the jagged edges before you're forced to climb through. Man, what scenario are you in where you're going to be forced to break a window? A rabid dog's chasing you, or, you trapped in your car and you're going over the edge of a bridge cliff. What?
Bridge cliff.
It's number 5. Shut up. A law professor in Australia spent 20 years as a cop. like he was impersonating him. I'm sorry. A law professor in Australia spent 20 years as a cop before becoming a lawyer and eventually teaching. In explaining the battered wife syndrome defense to a murderer, In explaining the battered wife syndrome defense to murder, he told a story of a call to a little old lady's house where she had said on the phone that she had killed her husband. Before this incident, he didn't really understand why it existed. Why doesn't the woman just leave? Oh, it's that simple, is it, my dude? Thanks, I'm cured. Are you hungry? Why don't you just eat? Oh my God, I've been sleepy too. Do you have any solutions? Have you tried sleeping? Oh my God. Oh my God, my insomnia is cured. Why doesn't she just go to someone else's house? The professor shows up to the door and is greeted by a little old lady saying, "Come in, would you like some tea?" He goes in and she starts putting some cakes on the tray and pouring tea. He wonders if she's all there. He asks, "So you said you killed your husband on the phone. Would I be able to see him?" She directs him to the living room where the old man was on a lazy boy chair, bottle in hand, and a tomahawk in his skull. Meanwhile, the old lady is asking if he takes sugar or milk in his tea. "Do you take sugar or milk in your tea?" Tomahawk in the face. That lady had a tomahawk. Yeah, I bet Windows is trying to install fucking updates. Leave me alone. The professor said that at this moment he realized why the defense of battered wives exists. The drunk old guy had been beating her for years, controlled all the money. You know what really screams basic to me? It's not just people who are in love with like Facebook and Instagram and other kinds of normie, very filtered cookie cutter content. Just, inoffensive milquetoast bullshit. It's people who need something to happen either to them or to people in close proximity to them to empathize or even understand, I never understood this thing, but then I saw it for myself and I was like, oh my God, do I need to see somebody kicking a baby or a dog to understand that that's terrible and it shouldn't be done? No, my dude. No. What's wrong with people? If in the world that I want to live in, I could educate people in a way where that confines them to an island for being so stupid and basic. But, what am I going to do? Here I go. Number 4. My husband has been a police officer for over 20 years, man. That's 2 decades, not 1. One night he was patrolling the downtown area when he noticed a purse someone had left behind. That could be a bomb, boy. Don't touch that. Don't touch that purse. He opened the bag to check for the ID and found a turd. Worse than a bomb. A poop bomb.
How is it?
A palm.
How is that worse than a bomb?
A palm.
Will kill you.
A boop.
The worst that'll happen here is that his soul will
A
just signal
boop.
for a little
What if there was a spring underneath it and it was spring loaded to when he opened the purse? Someone's left their purse here. I like money. I'm gonna pick this right up. Oh, it's a poop. Some lady took a big ass poop in her handbag and just left it behind. He'll talk about autopsies and burnt bodies, but that is the one story he would rather forget. Wouldn't it be nice to not have poop in a handbag? Somebody said a literal oh shit moment. Number 3. We were looking for a guy who stole guns from his ex and found him under a pile of clothes in a closet at a different house. Unfortunately, there was like 7 kids sleeping in the same room, so I started getting them out of there while my partner cuffs the guy who is pretending to sleep. We decide to drag him out, and I go to move the mattress to get it out of the way, and we find the stolen guns under where the kids were sleeping. Oh my God. Ultra said I can't escape a poop story. I guess you're right, man.
Every list gotta have one of them.
I just want things to make sense for me in my life. Just want it to make sense. Number 2, I pulled up on a teen sleeping in a vehicle at the end of a county road. When I ran the license plate, I found out that he was reported as a runaway. The doors of the vehicle were locked, so I knocked on the window to wake him up. Once he woke up and realized what was going on, he he shot himself in the mouth with a rifle that he had hidden under his blanket. Rough way to start my shift. Yo.
That sucks.
God, I want you to go get me some food, but it's like impossible.
Get your food. Like, go out and get food?
I don't know, girl. I don't know. Isn't there more of that beef crap?
Yeah.
Have you put on rice?
No, let me go put it on.
Thank you, Dia. Thank you, Dia.
Calm down now with all them poop stories.
Somebody responds, "My brother committed suicide, and the cop who was called to the scene has reached out to us many times over the years. He cut him down and tried to save him. My mom once made the remark, imagine if we had to cut him down." Ugh. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, look, man. Look, number one. I was doing a welfare check at a house for a suicidal male. Only person living at the house, car in the driveway, house was locked up. Gathered some more info and was told where a key was. Opened the door, announced myself, and started searching the house, expecting to find a dead body. Opened a closet door, and the guy was hiding in there with a rifle next to him. If he wanted me dead, I wouldn't be typing this. The dude was clearly having some issues. We sat down and we talked for about an hour. Told me he heard me, but he didn't want to talk to anyone. I got him the help he needed. Why he need help? He just don't want to talk to anybody. You know, jeez. I can hear the rice making contact with whatever container she's going to be using to cook it in. You know, Zikor the Lit God says, Dia, how is it living with Gael? Shut up, Zikor. It's a freaking fantasy. Anyone who would live with me would be living the life of their dreams. Bing bong. I really do need to back up the things on my YouTube so that I'll have a place to put them in the event that I need to find a new place online for them. If anybody has any ideas or tips on where I should put these things or what I should do, let me know. Snap me, get a hold of me on Discord, whatever, because I'm reaching that point and I don't want to lose it all. That was that list, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll be premiering this on YouTube tomorrow. What I'll try to do is start premiering these on YouTube right before I stream live on Twitch. So I'll try to time it so that as these are ending, then, shortly after on Twitch, I'll be streaming the next day's list live. So I usually stream at night at 9:30. Give me a couple of minutes usually if I'm running late. And with that, you guys on YouTube will be seeing me then. Special thanks to my patrons. You're saving my life as I'm in the hardest times. Special thanks to my Twitch subs. My God, I should really just make a new list of that right now. A new list right now, son of a bitch. And thank you to my YouTube sponsors, where if I can make it so that the channel doesn't get destroyed, once I hit 30,000 subs again, people will be able to join as new sponsors. And that'll be interesting. But I think I'm only at like 27,000 subs and I need 30,000. So that'll be a while. Unless I pivot and start making exclusively Elmo videos. If you guys saw that. So, thank you. Love you.